Hello world, Shelly here, and today I want to talk about prepping your face for makeup. I got this question several times recently in the comments and I figured we would just do a video about it. So as we start to talk about what we can do to prep our faces to wear makeup for a good long wear time that looks as nice as it can, we have to know what we're trying to avoid or what we are looking out for, the things we're trying to remedy so that we don't have them mess up our makeup. And I'm coming at this from a dry-skinned perspective because that is the face I live in. So one of the things we're looking for is hydration. We want to make sure that our skin is properly hydrated. If it's dry, it will tend to have flaking. Also, if it's irritated, you might have flaking. If you use tretinoin, things like that. If you're changing your skincare routine at all. So we're looking for well-hydrated skin. We're looking to minimize any flaking that we've got going on. If you do have some flaking, the answer to that would be exfoliation and calming your skin down and avoiding irritants to prevent that from starting in the first place. So those are the kinds of things we are looking to solve. Now, when it comes to hydration, a lot of that has to happen in your skincare routine. Not much of that's going to happen when you're sitting down at the vanity to prep your face for makeup. That is part of your routine. So in putting together a good skincare routine, and I've got a bunch of videos on the routines that I've done over the years, essentially as far as getting a good face ready for makeup, I would definitely incorporate a 7 skins routine into your skincare if you haven't already. That is just a process of applying multiple layers of an essence or a hydrating toner that doesn't have irritating actives in it, and you put on as many layers as you can while your face will continue to absorb it. Maybe that's 3 layers, maybe it's 7. The first time I did it, it was like 14. Because my skin's very dehydrated. The thing with dehydrated skin is that it's going to show more texture, and that's something we're typically looking to remedy with our foundations. We don't want to see that texture. So if we can prevent that texture from being visible in the first place, we are halfway there with our foundation, right? So get a good hydrating component to your skincare. Next, have a good moisturizer in your morning skincare routine as you're getting ready for makeup. And finally, sunscreen every day, because preventing damage to your skin is going to be more than half the battle to having your skin look great in makeup in the future. So good hydration, get yourself a good moisturizer, and sunscreen. The next piece of that, I would say, is make sure that you are doing your morning skincare at least 20 minutes before you sit down to put your makeup on. So I do my skincare very first thing in the morning. Then I get dressed, then I feed the cats, do all the, morning chores. What is this? She's purring. I don't know. She heard me say feed the cats, I guess. So that gives your skincare some time to sink in. You don't want pilling. You don't want that moisturizer that you just put on or that sunscreen to come off as you're applying your makeup. So get that on, give it a good 20 minutes, let it sit, let it all settle in, and then you can move forward. Yeah, we cannot play this game today. You gotta go. I caught some heat for locking the cats out in the last few videos, but you see, you have no idea how many interruptions I edit out of videos. But I even called her into the room today for you all. Because she had run out and it was a perfect chance to close the door. And I called her in. So there you go. There's Ziva. There's your Ziva fix for the day. I'm sure she'll be back. The other part of your skincare routine that if you've got any kind of peeling or flaking skin, and even just in general, I recommend incorporating some kind of exfoliation at least once a week, whether that is physical exfoliation where you use, scrubby cleansers or a scrubby cloth, or chemical exfoliation where you use acids, your AHA, your BHA, PHA toners, things like that. Whatever exfoliation you've got going on, That will keep the dead skin cells turning over, keep them off your face, because we don't want them, again, messing up with our foundation application. So once you've got your skincare done, you've waited a good 20 minutes before it's time to sit down and do your makeup. I don't have a very extensive, time of application process that I do to prep my skin. Most of it is my skincare. Oh, I need some caffeine today. We need the caffeine. So step one for me, because it's been wintertime and I'm probably going to continue in the summertime, I have 2 bottles of this stuff. This is the Merit Great Skin Serum, and I've been linking it in every video ever since I started using it, because I'm telling you, this stuff has been key to the hydration maintenance throughout the day. So I take this serum, I use it in my skincare routine back in my morning and my evening routine, but then when I am at my vanity, I come in with just 1 pump, do, the therapist hands, and just get it into the biggest parts of my face. The places where I lose moisture, get it out of my corner of my fingers, and I get it all, make sure I get it into my nostrils, where it gets super dry on the sides of my nostrils and my upper lip. And this stuff just, it's chef's kiss, I'm telling you. I even wear it when I'm not wearing makeup, but it just gives just a little zhuzh of more hydration. I want to look plumped. I want to look less textured. I want to feel nice. I don't want my skin to get tight. So now I've got some extra moisture under there. So if the foundation is going to dry me out at all, let's say it's got a higher quantity of drying alcohols, SD alcohol, than I prefer, then I've got some extra moisture for my skin to fight back and hang on to that moisture. Then I almost always use a primer, unless I'm doing something super light coverage, like if I'm doing a tinted moisturizer or something like that, I'll skip the primer, but I almost always wear primer under anything that's like light to medium coverage or higher in my foundations. And I recommend, if you have dry skin, that you go with something hydrating. Now, especially in the wintertime, I do an extra step of moisturizer. So in those cases, I will pick a moisturizer that kind of acts like a primer, or a primer that has moisturizer in it. That's not to say that's always what I do, and sometimes I do both a moisturizer and a separate primer. But like a primer like this, the So Blown primer, this one's got some skincare, collagen peptides in it. This is a nice one. It's not going to be the most hydrating because it's meant just as a primer, but in those cases, I'll put something underneath it. Now, there are primers that are both. So, like, this is the CoverGirl True Blend Base Business, the hydrating, moisturizing version. So, it serves both as a primer and as moisturizer. I'll tell you, my favorites are high-end. It is what it is. I can be a bougie girl sometimes. And Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream is one of my favorites. The Bobbi Brown, I have a cat hair on my nose, Vitamin Enriched Face Base, another one of my longtime favorites. One of my newer favorites, the Alicia Keys Soul Care. This is the Skin Transforming Cream. So it's really just me desiring to go in with a moisturizer that is either going to serve as my primer, or I'm going to put a silicone primer over it. But this step, this is still my hydrating step. This is my lock in the moisture step. This is the make sure that I've got a good base for foundation to not only lay nice and smoothly, but to not lose hydration. I need to keep the moisture in the skin. That way my skin will look as nice as it possibly can. Take any leftover moisturizer, train your brows if you are on that bandwagon. That is how I got my brows. Everyone get comments on my brows. Well, I've been training them for probably 2 years now. I train them every time I put on moisturizer. Brush them upward. So now I've got my extra hydration, my moisture, my locked in with my moisturizer, and then if I feel so inclined, I will go in with a silicone type of a primer. Wet n Wild Impossible Primer is another favorite. I love this one. The Joa Heal Me Sika Primer is actually quite nice. I have a lot of favorite primers. I like primers, the e.l.f. Putty Primers, the Tatcha Primer. But these, and I just got way too much on my finger here, these, I concentrate them on the areas of my face that need smoothing. I'm going to take a little off of here and put it up on my... Do you see how the wrinkles just disappear? My little fine lines in my forehead just vanish. I will take it on my pores, which are the ones right next to my cheeks, and smooth all of that out. I like it on my chin because I lose coverage there. So it's really just to help product stay put. And I will also take these primers under my eyes so that I can smooth out some of the lines under my eyes and get a good smooth application under the eyes. I have not been using a separate concealer, but I do take my foundation up under my eyes. So, and that kind of fills in lines and makes it so that you won't have foundation sinking into your lines. Sometimes I skip this step and I will just stick with whatever this was. These three are all very substantial enough that they can kind of act as a bit of smoothing on their own. But the thing I love about a nice primer like this is that it will, I'll show you my other favorite, Strivectin Line Blur Factor. It will also help blur pores, and it sometimes, depending on how good it is, it can also help product not to settle into your pores. So these are all things that we don't want our foundation to do, so we're trying to negate the effects that we can then prevent the foundation from having those kinds of difficulties, settling into pores, settling into lines, emphasizing texture, clinging to flaking skin. So, moral of the story, get your skincare dialed in, make sure it includes hydration and exfoliation, do your skincare at least 20 minutes before you sit down to do your makeup, and when you sit down to do your makeup, give yourself the final zhuzh of hydration, and if you want additional blurring, whatever primer you're going to go in with. And that is how I prep my face for makeup. What are your tips? What do I need to try? What have I not covered? What do I not have in my routine? What products am I missing out on that I need to check out? Let me know it down in the comments. And as always, thanks a lot for taking some time out of your day to geek out over makeup with me. I appreciate your time, and I hope you guys all have an awesome day or night wherever you are in the world. Take care of each other. Bye-bye.